Florida State continuing to build their defensive line class. Odell Higgins has done a lot of great job of recruiting through the years, sometimes finding big-time prospects like a Marvin Wilson. Sometimes it's guys that maybe aren't quite as highly regarded by the recruiting services. Daniel Lyons is a 3-star prospect by Rivals down in Homestead, Florida, listed at 6'5", 285 pounds, committed to Florida State during the summer, but also considered Miami, turned down the hometown Canes to come to Florida State. I think he's projected as a defensive tackle, although I don't know. At 6'5", 285 pounds, maybe he's a guy that plays multiple positions. Dominic Robinson, when you've watched Daniel Lyons' film, what are some things that stand out about him?
I think I'll say, first of all, in terms of the star system, 4-star,
Right.
3-star, 5-star, whatever, I don't evaluate any players based on that. And that doesn't, change the way that I view when I watch guys. I look at it as, I'm a college staff. How soon can this player play for us or be an impact for us? And then what do I need to do to get him there? And this is a guy that I really liked. I have him rated as a 2.3, which is a most likely redshirt, and this is where most defensive and offensive linemen are gonna sit, somewhere between a 2 and a 2.5. 2.5 being a guy who is college ready and doesn't need a redshirt, but he's got a couple things that he needs to develop. It's usually going to be size and strength, or size and technique, or maybe he's playing in a different scheme than he played in high school. So he's going to need to learn. There's going to be some teaching going on. But this guy, man, he is long, he is lean, and he looks like he's been taught to use his technique. He shows great knowledge of his technique. And so, kind of different from, Bishop Thomas, who's doing a lot of things that I don't think he'll do in college. When I watch Daniel Lyons, I'm seeing a player is actually doing a lot of the things that I think he'll be doing or be asked to do in college. And it's really good to see. You see him working a swim move at some point. You see him working a button snatch to separate or block destruction. You see him, coming around the edge, or coming off the edge. So you see him doing multiple things. Separating from offensive linemen, again, block destruction. This is a guy that's, close to being ready, close to being college ready, and closer than most defensive linemen. So again, going back to the star system, I don't know where he lies in terms of that, but I know in terms of a college program, he's very close to being ready, and a guy that will probably need a red shirt, but he won't be far from contributing soon after that red shirt.
So when a defensive lineman, again, I think sometimes in high school, maybe if they're not super well coached, I know from watching Odell Higgins coach guys at college, a lot of times he's preaching how to use their hands, maybe some different things, footwork. So when you see guys using their hands, like I think in some of those clips we saw him snatching the blocker, and that tells you he's been coached well, and then that makes you think he could get on the field maybe quicker if he's the right size and strength.
Without question. When you see a guy and you go, okay, this guy's been coached, that's going to sort of, lighten the load once they get to you. And you also know that it's going to shorten the curve for them in terms of getting on the field. And so I do see a lot of that with him. He looks like a guy who's been coached, and that also tells you he's coachable, because, some guys get coached and they're not coachable, so they don't take any of the coaching that they're given. And he appears to be a guy who's coached well and is applying the techniques that he's being coached to do. And I think his curve is he's very close to being ready.
All right, that's Daniel Lyons out of Homestead, Florida, who's part of this Florida State 2022 defensive line signing class.